What is up, Square Nation? Welcome back to No Counters, No Combos, and today we are talking some tech. DraftBox 6 Giant Force just came out last weekend. For those of you who were able to get your hands on the products, I hope you're enjoying them as much as, pretty much everybody else in the community is. I feel like this set was very slept on. It's definitely not as I don't want to say impactful, but it's definitely not as polarizing as DraftBox 4 and 5. I feel like Bandai really buckled down and decided to print this draft box with the essence of what a draft box really should be. It should be an extension. It shouldn't be meta defining in the slightest. It just should be somewhat of the power boosters, how they used to be, where it's offering support to already existing archetypes, maybe some interesting tech cards, just to boost what's currently going on in the format. I don't think a draft box should ever come out and directly impact a format. If anything, it should make a couple decks a little bit better. But for the most part, I still think you're going to see the main decks floating around in the meta that you're currently in. So with that being said, it's a perfect set for us to talk about because, here at No Counters, No Combos, we love talking about budget cards and we love talking about tech options for people's decks. So I've been enjoying DraftBox 6 a lot, especially because me being a skillless Gohan player, we got a lot of support with DraftBox 6. So with that being said, we're going to move on exactly to the card that we're actually going to be talking about today, and that's Korin Tower's Secret Medicine. It's basically a red Senzu Bean, minus the untap. But basically what happens with this card, it's a red extra card, activate battle for 1 red. You can choose one of your cards and give it plus 5k. If it's your opponent's turn, you can choose one of their cards or one of their battle cards and give it minus 5k. So why is this relevant? Well, it's a very good card defensively for you because you can give it to a leader, a battle card, or a unison. And defensively, you can also choose one of your opponent's battle cards and reduce it by 5k. So there's a lot of, 1-drops running around that are impactful. You have Dark Power Black Mass Saiyan. For the skillless Goku decks, you have Android 8. You have the 1-drop blockers that we got in set 11 that are 4k, that draw you a card if you control a unison. For Gotenk strategies, if they're playing the free Gohan blocker, you can get rid of him because he'll have revenge. So there's a lot of different applications as to what you can reduce by 5k. It doesn't have to necessarily be a 1-drop. If you want to reduce a problem card by 5k because you feel like you'll be able to combo out of it more comfortably, you can reduce a 20k to a 15 or a 15 to 10 and vice versa. The other application is also, as soon as I saw this card, I immediately thought about Goku, SS3 Goku One-Hit Wonder. That card, I really, really like that card. A free 15k that you get to play by negging something on your opponent's board I think it's super juicy. So I think you're going to start seeing some experimentation with that card. I've already been testing a red deck and I've already included it in my build. And it's performing pretty well. That card's just really good. It can come out for free when you neg something, and then you can tap a red to neg something even further by getting it out of play. So, just applications like that is what I started thinking about when it came to this card. Now, obviously, Senzu Bean has been a very, very strong card since the inception of the game. The plus 5k is really good defensively, but also the energy untap is really good defensively as well because it can continue to extend your defensive strategy if you need to. I like the versatility of Senzu Bean, so therefore I like the versatility of Korin Tower's Medicine. But also it does lack in the department of untapping energy, which is fine because that's usually the identity that revolves around the color blue. Red doesn't really have a lot of untapped cards, but also red does have a lot of cards that can free play themselves. I mean, if you're just thinking about in a vacuum, Legic, even though it's a very old card, can free play itself. One Hit Wonder can free play itself when you neg something. General Tao can free play himself if you control 3 battle cards. You have your free Videl blockers that can free play if you have a Gohan Adolescent, so you could just play the Burnhan leader. Obviously, if you're using the Burnhan strategy, you can free play Bardock the Resolute. So red does have a lot of battle cards that can free play themselves. And you might not need to rely on that energy untap as much as you think, because you're free playing a lot of your battle cards. So this card, that plus 5k for the turn, essentially gives you a red Senzu Bean to where you can now play defense more effectively. I like the fact that you can also give 5k to a Unison defensively. You know, if you have a 15k Unison and you want to make it a 20, it's going to make it that much more difficult for your opponent to interact with it. I definitely see that being like probably the most applicable effect in the game right now with the card. Like if I was going to be playing the card myself, I would probably give it to my Unison half the time, because I feel like it's going to be just more effective. It might save you a couple of swings, so it might save you some markers. It might save you, you know, from your opponent even attempting to attack into it. And obviously, you know, with the draft box, we did get a lot of red Unisons that are pretty good, in my opinion. And with the expansion set coming out in just a couple of weeks here, I think it's next week actually, with that new Shenron, even though it is already a base 20k, you know, slapping another 5k on it to make it that much more difficult to get rid of might just be worth it in the long run, especially because it's going to be free playing, you know, battle cards off of its marker skills. So in general, like in all, I think this is a really good card. I think it's a good trade-off for 1 energy. It does have applications both offensively and defensively if you need to make a late game push, or if you need to make a defensive stance and you're trying to, you know, reduce your opponent's battle power on board. I definitely like its flexibility. It's one of the better cards I think that red has defensively. You know, red has always been kind of like that aggressive color. I mean, now that you have Violent Rays is a phenomenal card. It's pretty much up there with Dormant Potential, but I like Violent Rays a lot also. And now you add this in for the red Broly strategy. It's just another card that they have at their disposal, but you also have, you know, applications for like Bulma and Pilaf and other red decks and, you know, leaders that people have been experimenting with since set 10. So that's pretty much going to wrap it up from my thoughts on this card. Let me know what you guys think about this card in the comment section down below. Let's open this up for discussion. I'd love to hear if anybody else is testing it and having success with it and what type of applications they're making as well. So like I said earlier, let me know what you guys think. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you guys next time. Be there or be squared.